Coming up on Chicago Bears Now, we will get into your mailbag questions. So use hashtag Bears or Super Chat to get your questions in. I did briefly just want to kind of dive into this Sunday's game a little bit more. Bears-Packers at Soldier Field. Just kind of rapid fire through some matchups I'm keeping an eye on in this ball game, as obviously the stakes are very, very high with first place in the division on the line. I think the one I'm keeping the closest eye on is the Bears' offensive tackles against the Packers' edge rushers. Obviously, Darnell Wright, Ozzie Trapillo against Micah Parsons and Rashawn Gary. You know, they're going to move Micah around a lot. They'll line him up over guards in the center some too, but you would think Jeff Hafley is going to want to put a lot of pressure, especially on Ozzie Trapillo. So how Ben Johnson counteracts that is something I'm watching. Jalen Johnson versus Christian Watson. I don't know if Jalen's going to travel. I would guess probably not since he's just getting back. But I would expect to see that matchup a decent amount. Christian Watson's been really good since he's come back from his injury. Jalen just working his way back. So we'll see how many times we get that matchup and if they can eliminate the big play, which Watson is certainly capable of making. The chess matches between all the coordinators, I think these are four excellent play callers. Ben Johnson versus Jeff Hafley. I mentioned a minute ago, Hafley I think has done a really phenomenal job of not just lining Micah up at the edge spot. You know, he's bluffing, dropping him into coverage some. He's lining up inside sometimes. Obviously, he's playing the edge a lot and getting after the quarterback. But he's done a great job with these corners who coming into the year. We're not getting much notoriety. Their safeties have been great. So excited to see how Ben attacks him and how they kind of adjust throughout the game, each of these guys. And then obviously Matt LaFleur versus Dennis Allen. Dennis Allen has done a good job this year of kind of just piecing this together. He's dealt with injuries all year. No different Sunday. At minimum, Tremaine Edmonds is down. A couple other guys could be out as well. So, you know, that'll be a fun chess match. And then the elements, too. It's going to be cold. It's going to be freezing. It doesn't seem like it's going to rain/snow, but I would expect it to be windy. How the teams handle that, special teams will play a huge role against the elements. That's always fun to watch as well. All right, it is Packers Hate Week. Get the FGBs rolling in the chat. You guys know the drill. FGB all day, every day here on this show. All right, let's get to a mailbag now. We start with Jarek Scott. Appreciate the $2 super chat. Is keeping Wright in over Stevenson based on durability? Are you talking about like this season or long term? Because right now it's just Tyrique's banged up, so it's not even a discussion, but I would guess even if Stevenson was healthy, Nahshon Wright would be playing over him right now. Not because Stevenson hasn't played well. I think for the most part he has, but Nahshon Wright's taking the ball away more. And if all things are relatively equal, well, you take the guy who's creating the game-changing plays. So, you know, once Stevenson's fully healthy, assuming Jalen Johnson and Nahshon Wright are healthy as well, we'll see what Dennis Allen does. You know, I would guess Stevenson probably mixes in some, but Nahshon Wright's earned his playing time. I mean, it's pretty simple. All right, Ben Himmer, hashtag Bears. Why is Jaylen Reeves-Maybin not playing? He played last week. They elevated him off the practice squad. We'll see if they do so this week. They can do that 2 more times. And then if they want him to play more on game day, they would have to put him on the 53-man roster. I would guess if he gets elevated, that probably means TJ is out again. If not, TJ's probably in a good position to play. Noah Sewell's expected to be back this week as well, so all those things certainly could play a factor. All right, guys, it is FGB week. We also have a second FGB week coming up, so why not launch some new FGB merch? We have the shirt, chatsports.com/FGB shirt. Good-looking design right there. Then the hoodie looks fantastic. I got to be honest. I can't wait to get mine in the mail. Chatsports.com/FGB hoodie. If you just go to chatsports.com/FGB, it'll get you to like the FGB collection page with these 2 items available. Click and shop today. Holidays are here. Perfect gift for yourself, your Bears buddies, kids, dads, brothers, sisters, etc. These shirts and hoodies can go on males or females. Doesn't matter. I can't wait to rock this gear, and hopefully you guys will as well. Chatsports.com/FGB, or if you want to go specifically to the shirt or the hoodie, chatsports.com/FGB shirt, chatsports.com/FGB hoodie. All right, Captain CB, who truly deserves to go to the Pro Bowl this year? From a Bears standpoint, I think a guy who for sure should go is Kevin Byard. I think Darnell Wright has a pretty good argument. Joe Thuney, Drew Dahlman have great arguments. Honestly, every offensive lineman outside of left tackle have arguments. I think Nahshon Wright has a pretty good case, to be honest. He's been fantastic. Had Tremaine Edmonds not gone on IR, I think he would have been a candidate, but he's probably just going to have missed too much time now. Rome has slowed down too much. He's not going to make it. DJ, the receiving weapons have all done some good things, but it's kind of been spread out a lot. If DeAndre Swift goes on a nuclear finish, could he make a case? With Monungai getting a lot of touches, probably not. So probably those guys I mentioned, but I'll put it this way. If I had one vote or two votes, I would say Kevin Byard and probably Joe Thuney would be my top two votes. But then after that, Nahshon Wright, Darnell Wright, Jonah Jackson, Drew Dahlman, I think they all deserve big consideration. All right, Rick Herrera, do you think we missed out on not signing Jadeveon Clowney? A little bit, honestly. He's been good with Dallas, dude. I said it at the time. I was like, he's not going to cost a ton, and he's going to be productive. This year, I'll just pull up his numbers real quick. And this is going into the Thursday night game, so we'll see what he does. He's got 4 sacks, and he's really just a rotation guy. Let's see how he's graded out per PFF. And by the way, 4 sacks will be tied for second on this team. That's probably more of a Bears problem. But 72 PFF grade, 77.5 pass rush grade, 62 against the run. His pressure win rate is like 17% pass rush win rate. He's been good, man. He's not a guy, he's a year-to-year player at this point, but he's still productive. So I'm not going to act like if they lose in the playoffs or something like that, well, if they had Jadeveon Clowney, but, would he be better than Dominique Robinson? I think Dom Rob's been okay, but, I'd rather have Clowney out there. I'll put it like that. Subscribe to the channel if you want Bears coverage all year long. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications. We got you guys covered here on the channel. Every single day we do these live mailbags every Monday, Thursday. We answer your questions on game days as well. So hit that sub button. Let's rock and roll. All right, hockey fan. What's the biggest shift you've seen in the Bears' offensive identity this season, and how much of that is due to coaching versus personnel? Oh, I think the vast majority of it. I would say a big reason is the coaching. They're just so much more organized. Their play designs just make so much sense. It's Ben Johnson is an excellent play designer. He's an excellent play caller. He's an excellent play sequencer. And what that means is he's thinking ahead, right? He's like, all right, I'm going to hit the defense with this in this 3 or 4 play chunk, and then we're going to come back to this later in the game, and they're going to think X is coming, and we're going to go to Y. He's just really good at understanding the short and the long term of a game as a play caller. Don't get me wrong, personnel, the offensive line has been awesome. Caleb Williams has improved. These running backs have played well. Everyone has a hand in it, but if you added these offensive linemen and Shane Waldron was still calling your plays, you wouldn't be a top 10 offense. You just wouldn't. So Ben's been fantastic. These position coaches have been awesome. It's hard to measure, but I think we have to give Declan Doyle a lot of credit. He's doing a lot of the heavy lifting during the week, studying these opposing teams' defenses and, figuring out their weaknesses and where to attack. So, yeah, I think it's a combination, but Ben Johnson's the engine. I think we all know that. All right, Decker. Jeremiah Love is probably not in the Bears' plans. What about Price from Notre Dame, day 2 pick? I'm a big Jadarian Price guy. Feels like he might be the number 2 back in this draft after Jeremiah Smith. So, second round, Dane Brugler had him as a top 50 guy on his top 50 big board. So I doubt he sneaks into round 1, but, if the Bears are picking 53rd in the second round or something like that and he's there, maybe. It'll be interesting because the way Swift and Monungai have played together, Swift is under contract, obviously Monungai is. To me, if you're drafting a running back on day 2, you plan on playing him as a rookie. So are you pivoting off Swift? I'm not reducing Kyle Monungai's role moving forward. So things change quickly. The ways DeAndre Swift has played, if he finishes strong, I'm more than comfortable going with those two guys. Then if you want to take a guy like on day 3, like 5th, 6th round, upgrade over Roschon Johnson for your third back, maybe he elevates to your number 2 role, in 2027 or something like that. That seems like a more likely path right now. But yeah, I mean, it's so nice because the way Swift has played and obviously Monungai's emergence, it's given the Bears some flexibility this offseason. Coming into this last offseason, I think they really did want to draft a running back early, but they get Monungai in the 7th. Swift has played well. It's like, oh, kind of feels like we have our 1-2 punch for 2026. So see how the rest of the year goes, but I think they're in a good spot at running back right now. Predict the score, Bears-Packers. Who you got? What is the final score going to be? I got Bears 26-24. What say you? Few more here. Elijah, appreciate the super chat. Tyreek Hill tweeted Caleb Williams. Thoughts on Tyreek in this offseason? Offense, offseason, trade, or signing? It wouldn't be a trade. He's almost guaranteed to get cut by Miami, just given his contract, the injury, etc. I'll say this. I'd be surprised, but the one caveat is, and listen, I know everybody thinks I'm the anti-DJ Moore guy. I'm a big DJ guy. Walter Payton Man of the Year. I think he's had a great attitude this year, all that stuff. If they pivot off DJ, again, I'm not saying they will or should, but if they do, what's Tyreek Hill going to cost on the open market coming off this injury? Could you get him for like $10 million? I mean, like, if it's something like that, I'm very interested. Now, you would only do it if one of your top 3 wide receiver positions opens up, right? But man, Tyreek Hill in a Ben Johnson offense, even if it's 85% of peak Tyreek Hill, that's pretty fun to think about, especially if he doesn't even have to be your top guy. Dr. Shrimp, do you think Stevenson or Wright come back in 2026? If so, for how much? Well, Stevenson's under contract. He's got his 4th year next year, so he'll be back, barring a trade, which I guess you could extend Nahshon Wright and trade Tyreek. I guess I can't completely rule that out, but I'd be surprised. But if they want Nahshon Wright back, maybe that is something they'd consider, unless they just want to have a lot of depth at outside corner, which maybe they do after this year with all the injuries. I'm very curious to see if Nahshon Wright continues to play like this through December. Like, what is he getting on the open market? Like I said a month ago, is he like a $6-7 million per year guy? Is he a $10 to $12 million per year guy now? Like, how many years is it? Is it like a short-term contract? I don't know, but man, he's been a revelation. So I think the way all these guys finish the year is going to impact how the Bears approach this. All right, guys, appreciate all the questions. Really good stuff today. If you have more, you know where to find me, at HGramNFL, Instagram, Twitter. I will catch up on DMs this weekend. Follow me over there and bear down.